everybody, I'm Cassara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2018 reading year in review. So basically this is going to be a relatively short video. I'm just going to be going over some stats from my reading last year. If you want to check out all of the books that I read last year, I did already post that video, so I'll link that one up in the cards. So I read a total of 65,594 pages across 179 books, which, like I said in that last video, that is completely insane to me. I did not expect to read that many books overall. I only set my reading goal to 100, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to make that, but I wasn't really factoring in audiobooks at all at the beginning of the year, and it turns out I really love audiobooks. So when I found a library that actually has a really wide selection of audiobooks, I just started consuming them like crazy. I have a job where I can kind of listen to them at work on slow days, so it works out really well for me. So the shortest book that I read last year was only 63 pages, and that is Dear Ijeawila, A Feminist Manifesto and 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The longest book that I read last year was actually a reread for me, A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin, which was 1,179 pages. That's actually kind of low for me because generally I read a lot of high fantasy. Last year I didn't read that much high fantasy, so I'm actually kind of surprised that my longest book is less than 1,200 pages. I would have expected to go over that at some point. So the average page length that I read was 366 pages, which makes a lot of sense because most books are between 300 and 400 pages. The most popular book that I read last year was 1984 by George Orwell, which 3.6 million other people have read, which I just think is crazy that many people have read a book. And the least popular book I read was The Crown of Draga by Emma Dean, which only had 177 people read the book. So that's a self-published novel, so I definitely expected that to be on the lower end, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So according to Goodreads, my average rating was 3.9 stars, which I think is actually really good. I feel like I had a really good reading year. I really enjoyed the books that I was reading. That being said, I do want to try and lift that a little bit this year and read more books that I'll really like. The highest average rating on Goodreads for any of the books that I read was A Court of Mist and Fury, which is 4.69 stars. I did not rate it that high. I think I only gave it 4 stars, but I did think it was a really good book, but I do understand why other people have rated it that high. So on to some of the custom statistics that I've been collecting over the course of the year. I read a pretty wide range of books, but I did stay in the contemporary and the fantasy a lot also. I read 47 contemporary books, 51 fantasy books, 22 sci-fi books, which surprises me because I hardly ever pick up sci-fi, and that seems like a really high number to me. 10 historical fiction books, 9 romance novels, 5 mysteries and or thrillers, 13 classics, which is another surprising number. I didn't think I read that many classics, but I kind of got really into it close to the end of the year, so that's probably why. 2 poetry collections. And then for the nonfiction categories, I read 6 memoirs, 3 self-help novels, 5 novels on writing, 1 novel on finance, and 2 miscellaneous nonfiction books. Honestly, I read a lot more nonfiction than I was expecting to read in a year. I generally don't read that much. I generally stick to fiction for the most part, but I feel like I got a really wide variety, which I'm really happy about. That being said, there are a few genres where I think I still have a lot of room to grow in. So I did my 2019 reading goals, and that's coming out later today, and I will also link that up in the cards for you guys so you guys can check that out too. So by age range, I read 56 adult books, 14 new adult books, 66 young adult books, which really surprised me because I generally don't read that much young adult, and I actually read more young adult than adult this year, which is very interesting. 5 middle grade novels and 2 children's books, as well as 7 books that didn't have a specific age range. So for the star ratings, I read 45 5-star books, which definitely surprised me because I didn't think I gave 5 stars to that many books, but apparently I did. I read 30 4.5-star books, 49 4-star books, 23 3.5-star books, 16 3-star books, 9 2.5-star books, 5 2-star books, and 2 1.5-star books. I didn't read any books that I would give 1 star or below. I think mostly the reason for that is if I don't like the book that much, I generally just stop reading it, and I don't really feel comfortable giving a rating to a book that I haven't finished unless I've gotten a significant way through it. I think I only did that with 1 book this year. It was one of my 1.5-star books, and it was only because I got all the way to the epilogue and finish the book, and it just kept going on, and there was just so much more after it, and I didn't want to continue on with the book. So as for how I read the books, I read 68 physical books. That includes all hardcovers, paperbacks, and library books. I read 33 ebooks and 78 audiobooks. I was not expecting audiobooks to be a factor at all. So if I hadn't read any audiobooks at all, I would have still met my reading goal with the physical and the ebooks, but the audiobooks just made me go way over that goal. So for page count, I'm not gonna go over every single page count. I'm just gonna put a little chart up on the screen so you guys can check out kind of where my page counts lie. Definitely the most of them were between 300 and 400 pages, but I read a good amount of 400 to 500 page books as well, which I'm really happy about. But next year I definitely want to read some bigger books because I definitely have dismal numbers in those larger page counts. So those are all the stats that I have for you guys today. I know it was a pretty short video, but I do have 4 more videos coming out this week. I still have my best, my worst, my most surprising, and my most disappointing books of the year. So you can expect that coming out this week. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that great content. Comment down below and let me know how many books you read last year. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up to support my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.